My dad wanted drinking buddies. He didn't want kids. I mean, I learned how to shotgun beers in the bathtub when I was like 7, which I now know in hindsight is abuse.
You look young and supple. What can I steal from you?
Hits the call button. I now. I do it here. I have Diaper. It's okay. It was like the inside of the Rhino from Ace Ventura when it's called. Like, I was miserable.
There's a lot of people that literally just live in their house and like rot.
I'm one of them.
So the goats over there, they got a big badonkadonk on.
Selective breeding.
Yeah.
I was just waiting for it.
We're not even there yet, boys. We're
not even there yet?
You're not there yet.
Buckle up. We're going for a bumpy ride.
It's so bad.
Wow. Are we glad you're here? Thank you for joining us, everybody. Welcome to Man vs. Morning. Today, I am joined by my wonderful co-hosts, Nolan the Sandalorian, Tack the Tactician, and our beautiful guest, Ethan Habitual Linecrosser. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Ethan, how we doing?
I am great. How about you guys?
Fantastic.
I was wondering what was up with the, quote, Learjets.
You know, there's a lot of things to life. There's a lot of layers to life.
Like an onion.
And those are Learjets.
Yes.
And I don't know if you can even see them on frame, but we have Learjets in the background. And see what that represents is a certain man who owned those thought that was the epitome of manhood right there.
Yeah. If you note, they're the same tail numbers.
Yeah.
Same frames.
Now, I don't necessarily think that owning a Learjet is the epitome of manhood, but the guy who had those photos taken of himself flying his own Learjet and then probably put them in his own office.
Who was that guy?
I don't know.
We don't know.
We don't know. He's lost to history.
Oh, okay.
We found it in an antique shop.
Yeah.
In 2 separate sections.
You can sense the essence of that guy.
Right.
Like him and his friend who was also flying his private Learjet, taking pictures of him, did a lot of cocaine together.
I mean,
Somewhere in the universe, there's pictures of his friend's Learjet.
Yeah,
That's his
the
friend's
ones he
Learjet right
took.
there.
I will say,
Learjet
like,
is the one right there.
you know, as like selfish as that might be, you don't have to deal with people when you have your own jet. It's true. I fly a lot now, and it's the
awful.
worst.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like this guy, he's just flying wherever he wants to.
Exactly.
Anytime.
Living the dream.
Exactly.
And he had the audacity, some would say the boldness,
Boldness.
to have really nice pictures taken. And
Those are beautiful.
yeah,
We should really look into the Pepperbox jet.
that's
It
where
would
I'm
pay
going.
for itself.
I would
All the
absolutely.
guests that we have to fly in, everything.
I want you to know I would help finance that just because I don't want to deal with fucking people.
Yeah,
We
just fly out, pick you up, bring you back.
My wife had the plane trip from. Do you want me to tell you the story?
Yeah.
It's the worst plane trip. I thought I've had bad plane trips. I've dealt with snoring people, crying babies, dogs, like all sorts of dumb shit. People who think the world doesn't revolve around them. But my wife experienced something, and she finally gave me permission to tell this story on social media.
Good. Thank you, Mrs. Habitual.
Yes, she. So she was flying. I can't tell you the airline. She refused to let me share the airline, but she is waiting at her gate at LAX.
Yeah.
And lady comes up, drops her bag, walks away. Huge red flag for security purposes, right? She disappears. They call her total of 3 times, telling her, hey, like, we're going to call the police and stuff like that. So police come, security comes, they open up the bag, go through her stuff. It's not a danger, so they just put it at the gate with the agent. This lady comes walking back up about 5 minutes after that, carrying 3 personal pizzas.
3
And-
personal pizzas.
Yes, 3 of them.
Hell yeah.
And was like, where's my bag? And they're like, ma'am, it's over here. And she was pissed that they went through her bag. And so, like, just complete disconnection from reality at this point, right? This is the tip of the iceberg. It gets so much worse. Yeah. My wife gets on the plane and looks up, and guess who's coming down the aisle?
Pizza lady.
Pizza lady, right? With her 3 personal pizzas.
Yeah.
Gets
Of course.
in the plane
Bumping
and
into
sits.
everybody with the 3 personal pan pizzas.
Excuse me, sorry.
Ever too wide for the aisle.
You know
Sits-
she was too wide for the aisle. She had 3 personal pizzas. Come on.
That wasn't for her and 2 other friends.
Sits right next to her. So bad timing, right? So my wife is
great luck.
is trying to just ignore this lady who, as soon as she sits down, puts down the tray table, starts eating her pizzas. They haven't even taken off or anything
Hell
like
yeah,
that.
she's getting right
Yeah,
to
she's
it.
all about it.
If it's not hot pizza, it's not my pizza.
Her 2 friends that they were for were already inside of her.
She ate them previously to save on ticket prices.
So
She was illegally transporting them.
smuggling. So the stewardess comes by and is like, hey, ma'am, you got to put up your tray table. And she's like, but I'm hungry. Like,
Yeah.
okay, got it. Don't give a like, you got to put your tray table up. So they get up, she puts their tray table up, finally agrees. They get in the air. They just say the message that says, hey, you can bring out your small electronic devices. Soon as they're done with that message, reaches up, boom, hits the call button. Okay. Stewardess comes over, was like, hey, what can I do for you? And she's like, I'll take a water now. She's like, are you having a medical emergency? Like, is there a reason you need a water? And she's like, no, I just want one. They're like, well, we haven't started drink service yet. So like, you're going to have to wait. 5 minutes goes by. Bing. I'll take that water now. Right. Complete disconnection from reality. Oh, and it just gets so much better.
Never flown.
It gets so much better.
Oh my God. All the time. It was like, this is how the system works.
Or she was the wife of that guy.
Yeah, the guy
I don't understand this bullshit.
She's like,
why haven't they brought him the water yet?
He died. She got super fat.
Yeah.
Man. So the guy, the stewardess, whoever, finally gives in to her and is like, okay, right before drink service starts, just brings her water. Is like, here's your water, and then starts drink service. Yeah. My wife's sitting next to her.
Trying to be accommodating.
The stewardess is like, hey, do you want anything? My wife's like, no. Lady reaches across my wife, is like, I'll have a tea and I want cream and sugars. So now she has 3 personal pizzas, a water, a tea, and cream and sugars. The second the stewardess brings her the cream and sugars, hits the call button. Not even 2 steps away, it was like, I need more cream and sugar. All right, so it's just getting worse. My wife is just trying to ignore this woman. And she's like, I'm going to just sleep, whatever. I'm going to just nod off, whatever, no big deal.
This horrible
This woman
person.
as she's eating her pizza, is like moving and wiggling. And as she's moving, is vibrating the seat with her farts. And it smells like baby shit. Like, it's... We're not even there yet, boys. We're
not even there yet?
You're not there yet.
Buckle up. We're going to
It's so bad. Like, my wife is one of the nicest people I've ever met in my entire life, and it gets so bad that she ends up having to ask to move because of what happens next. So lady gets up.
Your wife is a sweetheart.
She is so nice.
Does lady poop herself? Like, please continue.
We're getting there. We're getting there. Lady, was like, hey, can I use the restroom? My wife gets up, no big deal. She's in the aisle. She's like, let's go to the restroom. She comes back, sits back down. Continues to fart. And we're like, whatever. My wife's trying to nod off, right? She's like asleep. Lady nudges her. Was like, exact words. I'm not paraphrasing this. I shit now. And my wife's like, okay, well, I'll let you up. And she goes, no, I do it here. I have diaper. It's okay. And I like... I can't. She walks over to the stewardess, was like, can I move? I don't care where I have to sit.
Yeah.
I don't.
Can I sit in the bathroom?
Yeah, like, I'll sit anywhere.
I would rather sit in the bathroom.
Yeah, like
The airplane bathroom.
Can you please
Somehow there's
throw
pee
me
dripping
out
off
of
the
the
ceiling,
plane?
and I'd rather be in there.
my wife tells me this, and she's like, look, it would have, like, at that point, if they were like, look, we've been hijacked and we're crashing into a large building in New York, she's like, it would have been a better outcome at this point. Like, so
Dude,
moves, and then like 2 more times. This is like only in like a 2 or 3 hour flight. 2 more times hits the call button, but my wife's far enough away now. She doesn't really know what's going on. But at this point,
She clearly needed a diaper change.
she doesn't get up and change like the whole rest of the flight.
She
And
calls the stewardess, can you change me, please?
so like that's our big thing now is like I'll text my wife out of nowhere, I shit now. Like, that's our favorite thing is I shit now.
I'm going to start saying it.
It's so
I shit
good.
now.
And
gonna come.
dude, don't come.
But the lady sitting on the other side was watching something on her tablet, and like after my wife had moved, after this woman shit her pants, like loud as fuck on the plane, was like, I don't like watching that. Can you turn it off? Just completely disconnect. I can, like, people, and I asked her, I was like, was this woman like maybe having like a
have a
mental
mental
emergency?
disorder?
Like
Yeah.
was she having like was she maybe like a disability of some kind? She's like, no, she was completely well put together, like nice jewelry, nice clothing. She was Indian, like not feather. So I mean, I don't know what flies. I've never been to India, but like, yeah, she was telling me about this. I was like, I would have made a scene, like 100%. I've never had a flight that bad. So she takes the cake. She wins.
We can talk about India in the after show. I've been there.
Okay, fair enough.
That is insane.
I've never had a flight that bad, but after that, I'm like, a Learjet might be the way to go.
Doesn't sound that bad.
Nope.
Can I just say the most shocking part of that story is that they didn't blow her bag up? I just assumed that if there was unattended luggage, they came along with like a metal box and just like deaded it in the
Right
airport.
there.
I just assumed that's what happened.
They lifted, it's just ash.
Yeah, I feel kind of retarded again.
Just incinerated.
Yeah,
right
I thought
there
that
in
was
the
like
middle.
protocol. Like SWAT came in with like some sort of like metal tin and was just like,
Yeah, they have to move everyone
When she was
out
telling
of
me
the
this story, I
terminal.
was like, I thought they would like take the bag away somewhere safe that they could blow it up and then like arrest the woman on the spot. That's what I thought was going to happen. And
I'm terrified to leave my shit anywhere.
Exactly. Yeah. There are people in this world that I don't know how they function on a daily basis.
Yeah,
we just get too
that's just one of those things
Yeah.
where it's just like just as honestly, but as politely as possible, just to say, hey, assimilate.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. Just like, can you?
With humans, not even America, just humans. Like,
Well, yeah, I mean, like,
I shit now.
what was that Scottish term you were bringing up before the show?
Plunge.
She had a clunge.
Yeah.
But like, what like blew my mind about the whole situation is she got up, went to the bathroom to pee, but was like, "I'll shit here. I'm good with that. This sounds like this feels like a good place to take it." Like that was the whole thing that was just weirding me out. Like you proven that you can physically move to the restroom on the plane to go to the bathroom. Why you chose not to? Maybe the pizza was more important. I don't know if she was still eating at that point in time. I didn't ask.
I spent a few years in the fire department, and like it shook me on humans. Like there's a lot, like people are a lot grosser than you think they are. Like
Humans are super gross.
there's a lot of people that literally just live in their house and like rot into their couch.
I'm one
A
of them.
lot.
yeah, I could tell that about you first time I met you. Yeah.
You're like, he's got that.
Said
couch
this
rot
guy
smell.
doesn't do anything. He smells like couch rot. He's gonna melt right into the scene.
Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm a cluttery person sometimes. Like, for some reason, I don't know if you guys have this. Every time my wife leaves town and heads somewhere else, I have like an automatic dishwasher thing. Like, picks up all my dishes and puts them in the dishwasher and washes them and puts them all away. It stops working every time she leaves.
It's weird.
Yeah,
the house gets
it's the
dirty.
strangest thing. Yeah.
My clothes don't get washed.
Yeah,
what? That is true for
I don't know
me.
how it happens. But
Yeah.
like, I mean, don't get me wrong. Even as a single guy, like I'd get cluttered, but I'm not dirty.
No.
I'm not like, I'll just wake up one day and like, I'm going to clean this entire.
Right,
I
right.
just- yeah.
You see the clutter on the kitchen counter, you're like, all right, this is enough. And
Yeah,
then it's
yeah.
just full sweep.
It was literally this morning. Like I woke up hungover from the fight last night and like looked around my house and there's no woman in my life and there was dog hair everywhere at dishes and no clean clothes. It's like I can't take it anymore.
Yeah,
Not one more day.
This has to happen. Clear my schedule. This is going to happen.
Women are really good at the consistency of it. Dudes just let it like,
just
build up.
builds.
Yeah.
It's like going to E before you fill all the way back up.
Right.
Do you do that?
Go to E?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course.
You're one of those people.
Yeah.
I run that thing down to where like it stops telling me like an estimated amount of miles.
No.
No,
I roll that dice periodically. I
No.
ran out. He had to come put gas in my truck in California.
no.
Once it's down to between a quarter and half, you got to fill up.
No, you got like a.
What if you got to drive somewhere?
That's big engine propaganda. Don't listen to that.
What if you got to like
hold
drive
on.
somewhere quickly?
Exactly. Like, what if Red Dawn Russians
Yeah.
arrive and
Right.
now you got 3 miles till empty? You're dead.
You're not.
your
You're
stuff.
not getting picked for the team. You're not definitely not getting picked for the team.
Living through this.
So he's gonna steal. He's gonna himself. What are you gonna do? Red Dawn.
I get as far away from human population as humanly possible. Like that's because humans are like. I mean, this is the thing.
That's why I have a
that
loft
Indian
in the
lady's gonna
Bronx.
crawl out of the woods.
Yeah.
Hello.
I think the hardest part for me, and like it depends on like the level of apocalyptic situation. Like nukes, light up a cigarette, wait for the end. Like just wait for the flashes. I mean, I'm not even going to try and like
Yeah.
outlive that. When it comes to like a government invading, look. Most of us in GWAT fought insurgency for a long time. So like we kind of know how they work. Like you have to know how to build an IED. And I just right now I have the knowledge, I just don't have the necessary need to build those
Need
kind
an
of
electric
things.
fuse and
If that ever happens in the U.S., like specifically like an actual like land invasion where they're pushing east to west, you know, Highland County that borders West Virginia and Virginia will be the Korengal Valley. There's like 1,500 people that live there.
Yep.
It's full of caves. Like legitimately will be the Korengal Valley.
Like, I mean, for most of us who've been in the military, like we fought in a lot of different environments, right? You know, mountains, cold, hot, desert, you name it. And like, there's times I've just been in the United States somewhere and I'm like, this would suck. Like, this would suck to fight in. I would not want any part of this.
Yep.
This is miserable.
It's Highland County. It's the spot.
But when it comes to like zombie apocalypse, I think the hardest part for me would be to pretend I'm not excited. Like I've prepared my whole life.
I really hope my bitch neighbor gets infected.
I was gonna say.
do you ever get to participate in some of those like
games?
war games in your current position?
Sometimes. So have you guys ever participated in war games? And you can kind of correct me if I'm wrong. If you've done
we
it
never
before.
served,
just
so
love
we're
games.
just
Just
we're
love
just
games, yeah.
I like kind of like sand table stuff now.
Okay.
lowly idiots.
So it
So
was just a
that's fair. So whenever I've participated in war games with other countries, it's not really fair, and not to them, to us. Like we know we're the shit. Look, I'm gonna just tell you the way it is. America's the shit. We are the absolute best at warfare. We've been practicing it for like 230 out of our 250 years. Like we're pretty damn good at it. So every time we go into a war game, we always handicap the living shit out of ourselves. So like there's been several war games where like I'm just, doing my job, blasting through tabs, doing air defense stuff on the Patriot system. And like someone will lean over and be like, slow down. I'm like, oh, I'm supposed to make it look difficult.
Oh, we're too good.
My bad. Let me just, turn on my glitch switch or whatever. I don't fucking know. Yeah. So
No direct energy weapons.
Turn on my glitch switch.
yeah, I'm showing my age there. Oh man. And yeah.
The glitch switch is.
No.
Hell yeah, bro.
No
It's like
idea.
an old video game thing.
Yeah.
A glitch
Yeah,
switch?
it would interrupt like
Sometimes they're called lag switches.
I'm not like a super
was
nerd,
the
but it would like
quick
interrupt
unplug of
your
the router,
internet
right?
to where like your character would like glitch across the screen and you're like harder to shoot.
Yeah.
So I'm not moving like smoothly through like the environment. Now I'm like
So it's
glitching
like-
through the environment.
Yeah. It
What
was just a
games
connect
did this
disconnect.
occur in?
Like
Xbox
Counter-Strike
360?
and stuff. Yeah.
Oh, I never
Halo?
played Counter-Strike.
Yeah, Halo
I played
was a big
Halo
one.
a little bit. Oh, yeah. I do remember that.
The original Halo was what's up.
Dude,
That's
yeah.
the best game.
Blood
ever.
Gulch?
Yeah.
I got
They
my
need to bring
kids
that
on
back.
GoldenEye right now.
Nice.
Oh,
I'm
nice.
trying
I
to
tell you
trying to
what.
teach them the base. Yeah.
You gotta, yeah.
I
You
got
get
them
them
on
into
N64
GoldenEye, and
GoldenEye,
then
and
you
I'm-
activate proximity mines and you ruin your family.
Heck
Like,
yeah,
that's
dude.
I
And
broke
you're like, I'm
many.
gonna play
Yeah.
Hot Job.
Yeah, God. Many a controllers have been smashed
Right now, I'm
because
teaching
of
them
proximity
License
mines.
to Kill,
Oh.
and then they're learning, right? So then I'll go around slappers only,
Hell yeah.
Oh god.
and
Get
you
wrecked,
know,
nerds.
well, they
Get good. I didn't realize how much gaming had changed, and I like got GoldenEye on the Switch, and I had to remap everything because like it's not like Call of Duty. You don't strafe with this thumbstick and then turn with this one or however the heck it works. So it's all one joystick. So I'm just awful at it.
Well, wait, on the original controllers, you strafed with left and right C button. So
Did you?
You would use the joystick, and then you would use left and right C to like turn and keep your eye on target while you were turning.
See, no, I got to get back into it now.
I went back a few years ago and played the original Medal of Honor. I think it was Medal of Honor. But it was like everything was blocky, and it was the same
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
It's like my guy was like stuck moving. It was terrible. I don't know. I spent hundreds of hours as a kid playing it.
We all have this weird nostalgia about video games and thinking, oh, they were so good. They were so good. And like, dude, I love the Switch just because I have the N64 pass. So like I play all the N64
Yeah.
games. I've already maxed out Majora's Mask. I've already, maxed
Nice.
out Ocarina of Time. I'm a Zelda.
Classic.
Zelda
Possibly the best game ever.
fan. Yeah.
pretty
Yeah. Do you know they're coming out with a Zelda movie, like a live action? 2027. No, there's a thing.
It's gonna be a fat black woman forced.
Live action adaptation.
Don't do it.
You're a young man.
I told him, I was like, I made a post about it and I was like, look, just take everything the Borderlands movie did and do the opposite.
Yeah.
Everything the opposite. Like you can just grab Majora's Mask or Ocarina of Time and be like, that is our story. We're
Yeah.
just going to expand on it a little bit. We're going to go take out this guy, go help the Zora. We're going to go.
I swear,
Epona.
if they make Link speak,
Oh, yeah. He only gets to say, hot, yeah, hot. That's it.
He literally, that's all he can say.
Yeah.
And then the fairy just talks the rest of the time.
Wait, is Link a guy?
yeah.
Yes.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
Right. That's
Link is the little
If
green.
you hadn't said
The
Zelda, I
eternal
wouldn't know
question.
what we were talking
Oh,
about.
my God.
Link is a eunuch, most likely.
Interesting. I to this moment right now thought that was a girl.
He's a deaf, dumb eunuch.
Are Highlands eunuchs? Is that what we're getting at
That's
now?
what we're getting at.
Okay.
So you casually play with the Patriot missile system for a living? Is that what you were just hinted at in the last
Yeah,
thing you said?
So my job in the Army is my MOS main occupational specialty, military occupational specialty. I can't remember what MOS means, but 14 Echo, which is Patriot Fire Control Operator Maintainer. So Patriot itself has two different jobs primarily that operate the system. You have the 14 Echoes, which is the tactics side of the house for me. So like I'm actually the one who pushes all the buttons and sends the missiles where they need to go. And then you got your 14 Tangos, commonly referred to as launcher dogs or chalk blocks. And their job is literally to reload my launchers. Like that's, we call them chalk blocks. Like they're not the sharpest tools in the I love my Tangos. Shout out, love my Tangos. But we give them a hard time. And
They're good at one thing.
Keeping the thing from rolling away.
So are you remote? I mean, how far away is the missile that you're shooting from where you are?
so the system itself, it operates, how do I word this? So the system itself operates as one singular unit. So Patriot units don't operate smaller than a battery ever. Now you can place remote launchers out there. I don't know if I can say the distance, but an undisclosed distance away. But my launchers that I normally operate, unless it's like a special configuration, are within a kilometer of me.
Yeah.
Like they're pretty close in. So the system itself, you just set up the radar and then you put all the launchers kind of in front of it in whatever configuration you want to.
What kind of, I mean, how many, I don't know if you can answer some of these questions. If you can't, of course, we understand.
That's
but like,
fine.
how many do you have access to at a time? Is it like,
So a Pack 3, so there's several missiles we use. We use Pack 2, Pack 3, and then Pack 3 MSE. Pack stands for Patriot Advanced Capabilities, and then MSE stands for Missile Segment Enhancement. And what the MSE missile does, which is our newest missile, it bridges the gap between THAAD and Patriot. So THAAD is Terminal High Altitude Air Defense, and they can only shoot so low, and Patriot could only shoot so high. And there was a small gap in there. And so MSE closes
Where
that
all
gap.
the Chinese planes fly.
Yeah, that's where they were all hiding at. But so you can fit 4 Pack 2s on one launcher, and you can fit 16 Pack 3s on one launcher, or you can fit 12 Pack 3 MSEs on one launcher. So depending, because each missile has a higher what we call PK or probability of kill on certain threats.
yeah.
So you get your threat brief of what is active in theater. Like you're not going to build your system in a way to, let's say, combat a Nodong, which is a North Korean missile, when you're in CENTCOM, because North Korea doesn't sell those missiles over to CENTCOM. I'm just shooting in the dark. I'm not sure how true that is, right?
Yeah.
So based off of your intel analysis and what threats are active in sector is how you build out your entire defense plan and you allocate your units to protect different assets.
So you're just operating like a giant mech suit in the form of remote missiles in a computer.
Are you a Gundam?
He is a Gundam.
Oh my God. Honestly, so the job is kind of like shitty. I will be totally transparent with you. It kind of sucks. So you have to drink the Kool-Aid.
It's shocking.
Yeah, it's the lamest video game you've ever played. Like even like old school like missile defense on
Yeah.
Atari had better graphics than Patriot does.
Oh,
Let me put it
that
that way.
sucks.
Yeah, your cell phone produces and processes more information than an entire Patriot battery does.
Well, that might help keep it more secure in some
Yeah,
ways.
I've done some interesting tests with people trying to hack into our system. It's actually really cool. But we I totally forgot your question.
Mech suit.
Yes, there we
Yeah.
go. The way that I tie things in my brain is I'm not a what person, I'm a why person. Like, why am I doing this? So I always try, and that's how I understand like tactics and missiles and things like that. So for me, the only way that I could make my job feel cool is because inside the van, or the ECS, the engagement control station that I operate, there's 3 people. One of them isn't really necessary. It's the commo guy, and their job is literally just communications. So they're not like, but there's 2 of us fighting the fight, and it's the TCA, the tactical control assistant, which is the enlisted guy. My job is actually to shoot shit. And then the TCO, which is the tactical control officer, and their job is to make sure that I don't kill friendly shit. Like that's their whole purpose in life. And so I used to correlate it to Pacific Rim, where you got like 2 halves of the same
Dang,
brain.
man, yeah.
Because like, in the lower level air battles, it's easy. Like I can, lieutenant, sit there, do nothing, just press some buttons and just pretend you're pretty. Like it doesn't matter. But in the higher level shit, it's complete and utter chaos. Like I have to do his job. He has to do my job. Like we're just constantly back and forth. Yeah. So when I started getting to those higher level air battles, that's when my brain was like, this is kind of like Pacific Rim. So like I used to imagine we were like grabbing missiles out of the air and throwing them back at Iran. I don't know. It's stupid, but like,
That's super sick.
yeah, that was the only way that
Makes it way more fun.
awesome, right?
What are your missiles primarily designed to target? What kind of enemy?
So Patriot is in an interesting part of the engagement envelope. The United States uses what's called layered air defense. So some of our adversarial nations like Russia, they think that one sensor, as long as it can see far enough, can shoot everything. And that's just not the case.
Yeah.
The United States, Israel...
Don't tell them that.
yeah, I know, right? We all have like a
Cut
layer.
that part.
Yeah,
I know how many Russians watch
Yeah,
this
right?
program.
you want a beach?
You mean not one sensor can do this? Oh shit! But so we use a layered system, and Patriot is in a really, really rough part of the envelope because where we're at, we have to combat cruise missiles, ballistic missiles. We call them TBMs, or tactical ballistic missile, or theater ballistic missile. Really depends on where you read it. Air Force calls it theater. Yeah,
I love military acronyms.
oh, dude, it's awful.
I totally know what these mean.
They all change them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We call
6 for the same thing.
there's three acronyms for UAV. UAV, which is unmanned aerial vehicle, RPA, remote piloted aircraft, and UAS. Yeah,
Yeah.
UAS, unmanned aerial surveillance.
So you run into stuff like cop that means like 5 different things depending on how you're using it in a conversation.
It's insane. And then so we get
Love that
cruise missiles.
feature.
Yeah. Cruise missiles, TBMs, and then what we ABTs or air breathing threats. I'm not supposed to say air breathing targets, but air breathing threats, which encompasses both rotary wing and fixed wing. And then we also
Air breathing threats.
Yeah, the
breathing
Chinese.
threats. Yeah, like pilots.
That's what the word is.
Yes, air breathing threats.
Okay.
And then we have let me see, cruise missile, TBM, ABT, and then UAV or UAS or whatever you want to call it. And then we do have albeit limited, but we do have an ability to combat electronic warfare. So that's considered one of our threats is electronic warfare, jamming.
Yeah.
Okay, I was like,
Yeah, you
what do
see,
you mean electronic?
we were just
warfare?
talking
Like
about
lightning
we were
bolts?
just talking about GoldenEye.
Say what?
We were just talking about GoldenEye.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a fun part of the envelope, but it's a hard job, and the system is not very forgiving. It's very so I feel like air defense kind of has an inherent problem because when the rest of the world slowed down after GWAT,
yeah.
air defense didn't.
Yeah.
We continued our constant deployment. So like an infantryman now in the Army can go 3-4 years without a deployment. An air defender is lucky to go a year. Lucky.
Really?
Yes, we're constantly out. And I mean, we're scraping the bottom of the barrel trying to just get people out the door because we're undermanned and they want us to expand exponentially. Like we're hurting and we're trying to keep up as best we can. We do have a few systems coming online that'll increase the area that we can control while decreasing the manning requirements, which is going to be so welcome when it finally comes through. But I worked on that system for 4 years. It's not there yet. We're getting there, but it's not there yet.
Why is there a shortage of manpower?
Air defense it's kind of a self-creating problem because we're constantly deployed. So a lot of people don't want to stay in. They want to start a family, right? Sure. They want to be there for their kids' birthdays. They want to be there for all those things. But also when you find somebody who is tactically competent, so not every 14 Echo can you put in the van. Not all of them are the same. Some of them are just not going to get it. They're not going to be fast enough. They're not going to understand the tactics side of the house. They're just not going to get it. You can train them to your heart's content, but they just won't understand. So a lot of air defense units, what happens is they put somebody in there, that person gets good, and they just leave them in there. And they burn them out for like 6 years straight.
That's not good.
I mean, heck, I lived in a van in 2016 for about 22, 23 hours a day for 9 months straight. Yeah.
You slept in there and everything?
We weren't technically allowed to sleep, but yeah, sometimes I got some shut eye.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, if you're in there for 22 hours a day.
Yeah, because we were doing day on, day off. So you'd be on for 24 hours, off for 24 hours, on for 24 hours.
God,
That's
that is
super good.
Not
That's
healthy at all.
Yeah.
Military-
That's how you get the most.
So just so I understand, to the average person, because you're swinging around a lot of military terms and stuff right now. So you're deployed, as in you're overseas.
Yes.
Okay, so you're in an overseas environment. You're away from your family, your home, etc. For 6 years, sometimes.
Off and on. So
Okay.
You get rotation, right?
They changed the rotation style. So when I was there, it was 12 months out, and their goal was 18 months back.
Okay.
Then it was 9 months out and 18 months back, and now I think they're back to 12 and 18. So that's their goal.
That's like the schedule. I mean, it'd be harder to be that than to be like a road musician.
Yeah. And I mean, and it's kind of shitty because what they don't consider a deployment is pay comp, Korea, Japan, things like that. So oftentimes you'll deploy, you come back and you have what's called dwell time, that you have to stay in the United States. Like there's a minimum. So they'll be like, cool, you're going to Korea, which we set your dwell time. And they just send you to Korea. And as soon as you're done in Korea, you come back to a unit and you deploy again. Like we're run ragged. We are absolutely run ragged.
That's how like the infantry guys were for 20 years in the GWAT. Was you did 12 months downrange,
Yeah.
and then you had your year of dwell time. But a unit can come along and be like, well, sorry,
Yeah.
you've been back for 3 months. They just waive your dwell time, you're going back.
Yeah.
Or stop loss you and you do 18 months in country or something like that.
Oh, if I get stop lost on my way out the door, I'm starting World War III. Okay.
So how long are you, so you're still active in this component?
Yes. Right now I'm an instructor. I teach senior leader course at the Non-Commissioned Officer Academy.
Okay.
So I'm the only 14 Echo SLC instructor in the Army. So every single person who wants, they changed the rules a little bit. Now you can make E7 without the school, but you still have to go to my school before you go to make E8. But every single 14 Echo in the United States Army has to go through my school before they're promoted.
And this is all missile air defense. This is all under the Army's purview.
Yep.
Huh.
We kind of like work with the Air Force. I don't know why the Air Force wouldn't grab the missile defense aspect.
It seems Air Force.
Yeah, it seems like something right up their alley. Like
Missiles fly through the air.
Yeah, no, but you'd have to be, you're a kilometer from your actual missiles, which means you'd have to be in the woods somewhere, and the Air Force is like,
yeah, that doesn't
sounds like I
We
wouldn't
better
have
give them
China.
hazard pay for that.
Sounds like paper plates, and I'm out.
It's awful. Yeah, it's
Saying there's not air conditioning.
Yeah.
bro, I had so we have air conditioners on our van. We have 2 of them, and they're there for the equipment, not for you.
Yeah, right.
That's
of
what
course.
mine is.
Yeah,
They're for the
they're there for
equipment.
the computers
Yeah.
to keep them cool.
So our system,
It doesn't even give you an option to like aim it down.
no, it doesn't. It really doesn't. It goes straight behind you.
You just have to stand up. Okay.
So I'm in UAE, and it's 120 degrees, 90% humidity. Like I didn't know the Middle East got humid until I went to UAE. That's awful. To this day, I have no idea who's cruising across the desert was like, you know what, this is nice. We'll stay here.
Sounds
idea.
Great. This sounds great.
It's an awful place to be.
It's
But
almost like it's a group of people that no one else wanted anywhere near them. They're forced to live
imagine
in the
that.
desert. I don't know.
It's the same thing I think
crazy.
when I go through Arizona and Nevada. I go,
Or
why?
Texas.
Yeah, oh god.
Most of Texas.
But at least we have like Taco Bell and strip clubs and like yeah.
What was that?
Yeah.
How dare you?
But no, so I was there, and we have 2 air conditioners, and in a real fight, we're supposed to turn both
One
on
for
full
you
tilt.
and one for the lieutenant.
Yeah, right. Well, they're right above us, so it's yeah.
Tom's
Just
guy doesn't
watching.
get the other one.
And I was on the old system. We have what's called the Modern Man Station upgrade. Now, the Modern Man Station is really nice. It has like touch screens. There's 2 screens. They kind of reconfigure the inside. It has Recaro racing seats that recline.
Yeah.
Really nice. Mine was just a metal seat with like a napkin on it that folds down. So like, imagine being stuck in there for 22 hours a day.
Why are they putting racing seats?
It's-
Is this thing moving around?
Because you gotta go fast.
You need a 5-point harness.
Missile go foosh.
Missile knows where it is.
It knows
because-
exactly. But so it's got the 2 air conditioners, and one of mine went out. Well, technically, the system is not non-mission capable until you lose both of them.
Of course, yeah.
But one of them that was functioning was pushing out like fart air. And so at this time,
I shit now.
It's the lady on the plane.
it was so bad. So I'm
She's
in
just
there.
outside the air conditioner.
They just ship her around.
Oh my
It's a world terror.
She's part of the training. She's like the psychological component of your training.
She's the chemical warfare specialist.
The
You guys-
PsyOps guys sent her up.
Adam was like,
Hearts
hey,
and minds,
you
baby.
guys have
Hearts and
Kimberly now. Like, just Kimberly waddles into the van.
just shits in there. Oh man.
Don't worry, I have diaper.
So I'm in there, and this thing, I'm in summer PTs, which is shorts and a t-shirt. I'm pouring sweat. I'm watching what we have in front of us before we get the touchscreen is the old school tube TVs, like CRT, cathode ray
Hell
tube.
yeah.
Like old tube TV. And it's sweating. Like, it's so hot and humid. I'm watching my CRT sweat, and they're like, "Hey, you got to stay in there because the AC is still running." I'm like, "It's not." Like I'm like, my radios were baking in the back. Like, this is not okay. But my warrant officer at the time, he refused to say we were NMC unless shit was broke. Like, refused, because he wanted the green time, right? And which is when your system is functional. And I'm in
Just
there.
leaving you in some hot
I was
box in the middle of the desert.
He's like, I'm gonna hard boil this egg.
This is going to
because he
look real
wants
good on
because he
paper
wants
for me.
green.
You.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Now you understand why he's so mad at the
1000%. You know why I don't
command
like
structure.
officers?
yeah.
That sounds awful.
It was like the inside of the Rhino from He's been winning trolls. Like, I was so. I was miserable. It was the worst experience of my life. And finally, I've never experienced pure, unfiltered joy. Like, I was sitting there and all of a sudden, and I heard it die, and I reached up and there was no air moving, and I was like, NMC! I just stood up and walked out of the bed. I was like, shit's broke, go fix it. I was so
ripping your clothes
I
off.
was fucking.
It's just naked. He just walks out naked.
Why is there a screwdriver stabbed in the front of the air conditioner?
Don't know how I got there.
That's weird.
God, it was fucking miserable. But yeah, you're talking about the air conditioning in there, and that immediately made me think of that. It's like, oh shit.
So what kind of What kind of tisms did you have to have as a child to wind up in this position?
Majora's Mask, like resetting the moon.
So, honestly, I was really into cars as a kid. I was cartism.
Yeah.
I was a bit of a gearhead. My brother, like me and my two brothers that I'm the closest with, we all went different directions. My oldest brother, like we all lived together growing up as kids because my dad couldn't pull out of a driveway. I have 4 brothers and 2 sisters.
Was he blind?
What's that?
Was he blind?
I love that. I love that phrase so much. It took like a whole 30 seconds, and I love it.
That he couldn't pull out of a driveway.
I love it.
But
Got it.
so like
4 brothers and 2 sisters.
my older brother Aaron, he got real big into hot rods and racers. Like that's his thing. He builds cars, like sports cars. And my next older brother Eli, he builds motorcycles. Like
Wait, you're Eli's brother?
I'm the other Eli, but not that Eli. Not that Eli. Mine's a convicted felon. So it's he's.
You sure we're not talking about the same?
I tell my mom all the time, 4 out of her 5 kids are not felons. So she on a B average in parenting. She hates that joke.
good.
I hit my mom and I'm like, hey, at least I didn't do drugs. It's the opposite.
Yeah, right. So I got big into 4-wheel drives. Like I'd build Jeeps, I'd build trucks. Like that was my thing. And originally when I enlisted in the military, I was a 19 kilo. I was a tanker. I drove an Abrams main battle tank.
I caught the death before dishonor.
Yeah,
So that's interesting.
yeah.
Okay.
So I was a tanker and
Drove the tank?
technically I drove and then I loaded and I gunned for like half of a gunnery because that's how the rank structure goes. Low man out of the totem pole is the driver. Next one up is the loader. And then after that's the gunner and then the TC. Unless you're with a lieutenant, then that gunner is like senior because the officer is just, don't do anything stupid, sir.
Yeah.
And so I was that. And I loved it. Honestly, I really enjoyed it. That's how I went to Afghanistan because air defenders, high mat air defenders, which stands for high to medium air defense, which is like Patriot guys, THAAD guys. And we don't go to Afghanistan. So I went there as a 19 kilo. But 9 months prior to Afghanistan, they took away my tank, handed me an M14 EBR, and were like, you're going to walk everywhere now. And so I walked everywhere in Afghanistan. Like they took, so we were combined arms battalion. They took 2 companies of infantry and 2 companies of armor. And each of the infantry companies gave each of the armor companies 1 platoon of infantry. So we just like salt bait infantry guys into our company, and they trained us how to be infantry for like 9 months going into Afghanistan.
Where were you when this happened?
Fort Carson.
Okay, I was in a unit in Germany that did this.
The exact
it
same
was
thing?
all infantry guys on Bradleys and a 19 kilo company. And they had done a run to Iraq. And then they just looked at them and were like, you guys don't do any of that anymore. And they literally just like speckled in a couple senior leaderships into like the tankers. And were like,
Yeah.
you
So
guys
You're
are
a
an infantry
tanker armored guy.
Yeah, originally that's what I was.
And then they were just like, you're infantry now.
Yeah, go climb the mountain. Good luck.
That was
This will look good on paper.
Yeah, I was part of the big push into
This will
Afghanistan.
really bump my green
Yeah.
time.
It was gonna look great. But I got back from Afghanistan and I
The
went
boys at the club will really like what I did. Yeah.
They'll never get over what I've done.
But after we get back, I went to re-enlist. I was like, I love this job. I love the fight. I really did enjoy like being there on the ground. And I'm like, my brain, the way I kind of like rationalized it was, if I'm not there, someone else has to carry my weight. Like that's kind of the way. And I'm sure infantry guys feel a lot the same way. It's like, if I'm not there, someone else has to carry it for
I
me.
got stuck for so long.
Yeah.
Like if I leave, then someone else is doing this, and I'm not going to put this on someone else.
Exactly.
Like, I'm already broke, so I'll just stay.
We are trauma bonded.
Yeah.
That's the way that shit works. And so I went to re-enlist. I was like, I love this job. I want to stay in it. And the retention NCO was like, this is also when President Obama was downsizing tanks. And he's like, look, you're overstrength, so pick a new job or get out. And I was like, well, what's available? And they said, well, there's vet tech, which hindsight 2020, kind of would like to rather work with dogs. But then they offered me 14 Echo and 14 Tango. And I was like, well, what's the difference? He goes, well, one shoots the missile and the other one tells him to shoot the missile. I was like, well, I want to shoot the missile.
Yeah.
And it was a whirlwind. I thought it was combat arms. It's not. It's
Did they lie to you while you were in at the same time? Oh, it's crazy.
They told me it was combat.
Do that.
Oh my god! Retention NCOs just want their numbers.
This will look great on paper.
The other boys are going to love what I did here.
Yeah, it's combat arms.
Yeah.
Sure.
So I got over and I hated it for like 3 years. I hated it. And I didn't want to do it. I was like, I'm going to go back to being a tanker. I'm going to go back to being a tanker. And I had to come to Jesus. My come to Jesus moment is if you're a 14 Echo and they put you on the gate for like gate guard, you're useless because we really need 14 Echoes. We're hurting everywhere for 14 Echoes. So my platoon sergeant,
Got it. Okay.
he knew that I just had that tanker mentality and I didn't care about air defense. I didn't know anything about air defense. And he stuck me on the gate. And I was like, all right, I'm going to go back and learn this shit. And I'm going to crush it. Like, if he wants to put me here, I'm going to go back and I'm going to crush this. And in like a matter of 3 years, I just started annihilating. Like they put me on the antenna mass group. I became the top rated antenna mass group in my entire battalion. I broke the 30-second double AMDC record for the fastest +4 time when you send up your mass to 110 feet in the air. And then they put me in the van and I became a commo guy, and I became the top rated commo guy in my battalion. And then my TCA at the time, he had like a mental break, and I went from commo guy to TCA in 4 days. That's a 6-month train up.
That's awesome.
I took it in 4 days. And then the day I pinned staff sergeant, they're like, "You're our battery trainer now," which is an E7 position. And then I trained the living shit out of that battery.
Are you also a staff sergeant?
I'm a sergeant first class now.
Oh, thank God.
He's a real boy.
Yeah,
I'm a real boy.
He's your sergeant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, were you a staff sergeant?
Yeah.
Oh.
Wait, he doesn't. Jake is constantly like sergeants, all these sergeants. That he doesn't like. We had a whole thing with Rich about like why is there so many fucking sergeants in the army? Like,
There's a lot of
It's such a hilarious idea.
all the Agent Smiths.
It's just a bunch of staff.
They were like, no, I'm pretty sure all the ranks.
They do.
All the ranks after this, no, we're just going to keep sergeants.
Yeah.
There's just going to be another sergeant above that sergeant.
Do you know how to pluralize sergeant major?
Sergeant's major?
Oh, okay. He does have that
That's
right.
only because staff sergeant told me.
God damn it. Come on, man.
E7 though is like when you finally made it, because E7 is congressionally appointed. So like you could beat your wife and get a DUI, and like you're gonna be all right. You'll be all right.
Yeah.
I mean, you can do that now if you
You
want
just
to.
did that if you were a Washington, D.C. politician.
You'll manage the barracks now or something like that.
Okay.
I mean, if you're a white guy, you can still get away with it.
You'll be on post and you're
Damn,
going to like Comcast on post.
Yeah.
There's that E7 that's like working in Comcast for no reason. Like that dude beat his wife.
Yeah. Like,
But you're not losing your rank. You're good.
It's crazy when they do that shit. And honestly, I hate that.
No, it's a super broken
I
system.
hate when they do that shit because, like, for me, I'm like, you pull your weight or you get demoted. Like, that's the way my brain works. And I got no problem demoting NCOs. I have no problem doing it because, like, I have been that staff sergeant working.
Rich is sleeping
I know. Well, this is the thing. Any unit you go to, tell me I'm wrong. Any unit you go to, 10% of that unit is keeping that unit running. Everyone else is useless.
And it's the 50% or 60% that are like really useless is the senior leadership.
Yeah.
I think it's like one of the most broken parts of the military is like if you just stay long enough,
Yeah.
you'll be a sergeant major.
Yeah, you just have
Like
to
because
stick around.
most of the good guys finally get to a point where they're like, I can't do this shit anymore.
Yeah.
Like this is insane. Like I can't do this anymore. And you leave, and there's just that one retard that like stayed
Yeah.
forever, and now somehow he's the like most highest ranking dude there.
There's
was-
got to be a few good ones.
Well,
Yeah, I don't want to like slam on everybody.
Yeah, I
totally,
don't think we
but,
should
like,
necessarily
You know,
just-
when you look at the global war on terror, and it was like 20 years and $334 million a day, and it accomplished nothing, and then we left in like a giant pile of dog shit, and like, and you just wonder
9
like, how did this
trillion,
happen?
baby.
No, can you remind me?
That's how that happens.
Got it.
and that's the way that like it is, and I loathe that because like I've been that staff sergeant working from sun up till sundown and like
Yeah.
way after sundown, and there's people my same pay grade, getting my same paycheck, and they're off at $1,500 every single day.
Well,
because they don't have any responsibility.
Like if you're good at the thing that you do, then they'll give you more things to
Exactly.
do. That's crazy.
Dude, every commander I've ever had that I've had a one-on-one with, I'm like, sir, you need to understand, not everything is a no-fail mission. Like your sexual harassment program, that's a no-fail mission. That makes sense. Your training program, no-fail mission. That absolutely. But like radiation safety, give that to a retard. So when he f***s it up, you can demote his ass. And guess what? You can promote one of those specialists who is going to pull their weight. Like that's the way that I work. I don't know if the Corps was the same way. You Army?
Army.
Corps? Okay, you were Army. Okay, I thought you were Marine Corps.
Now I was 101st Army guy.
Good old 101, screaming chickens.
That's right. Wow. Okay, I want to go back to a little bit of this early days.
All right.
Ethan. So you're working on cars. You're
Yeah.
wrenching on cars. What was the funnest thing you did with those? Did you have like a build you were proud of, or
So I grew up poor. Not me. My parents were. They just drug my
where
ass
are you
along.
from?
Commerce City, Colorado. Like,
Okay.
people think that Colorado's like, oh, it's all rich white people. It's Aspen. No, like every state has a ghetto, and I'm from my states.
Yeah.
Like everyone has one. But
Commerce City, dude.
no, good old City, homie. Like I get profiled now because I have a nice truck. Like they'll pull me over and like, what are you doing here? White dude in a nice truck. You selling drugs? I'm like, no, I grew up here. Like
No, I went
You're
in the
in
Army.
that
That's broke me.
XLT F-150.
yeah, like it's nuts.
The bumper's just on.
Yeah, it's just why aren't you missing any taillights? What's going on here? No, I built, or the first thing I built was a 1989 Jeep Cherokee Laredo.
Oh.
Had the 5-speed Peugeot transmission, which is garbage. The engine's great. The 4.0, indestructible. That Peugeot transmission, hot garbage.
What'd you do to it? You just rebuilt it?
Well, I lifted it 2 inches. That was all I could afford was a 2-inch. I put rolled the fenders. I put 2 bumpers on it. I couldn't afford a winch because I was poor. I had a nice little sound system in it with some subs. So that was that was like the extent of what I did there. And then I
You're never too poor for subwoofers.
never. Like subwoofers just show up.
Those actually, that's
Fucking dude, somehow, like I don't have any money for food, but I've got a 12-inch in the back.
Exactly.
Of this piece of shit.
I don't know why.
Air is pretty tasty these days.
you have it. You have wrapped the trunk or whatever with that sound.
Yeah.
You always got to have that license plate coverage.
You can't afford screws to mount the subwoofer either, so you take a turn too hard and you can hear it like
Slide,
Yeah.
We built, and then right after that, I had a 1975 Jeep J20, which tried to kill me on several occasions until I got rid of it. Like driving down the highway, I just bought this vehicle, and they're like, it barely runs, but I was like, I'll get it home. I'll get it running nice and sweet. And the guy's like, the seats are a little jacked up, and I'm like, I'm gonna rip those out. I got a crashed Ram in the backyard. I'm gonna chop and weld and like do everything because I like metal work. Wood doesn't make any sense to me, but I love metalworking. I've been doing that for a long time.
That's interesting.
And so I was like, I'm going to put those in there. And it had a vacuum line missing from the brake booster. And I didn't realize how important that vacuum line was. So I'm driving down the highway. My brother's behind me in my 89 Jeep Cherokee because I'm going to sell that and I'm going to build this thing because that's what I want to do. And he sees me. My hood flies up, hits the windshield. I'm on the highway, right? And his thought is, Ethan, don't panic. And then sees the truck swerving and he's like, he's panicking. Because what happened, what he didn't see, is I was like, oh shit, and I go to slam on the brakes. They don't really work that well. Yeah, the brake booster vacuum line was missing, so they don't really work. And I hit the brakes so hard that I broke the seat loose. So now I'm in a loose seat. This thing just
Steering wheel comes off.
It was miserable. This thing just kept trying to kill me.
Man.
I had the axle come apart on me, like going down the road a couple months later. Like this thing was just trying to kill me.
I broke the seat on my tractor, and it was a pain in the ass. I can't imagine doing 70 in a Jeep down
It was
the highway.
probably one of the more terrifying experiences of my life. It was,
Man.
and I got rid of that. I had an '89 Ford Bronco, Eddie
Hell
Bauer
yeah.
edition.
Oh.
I thought it was the coolest thing.
The
You had
Eddie
the little-
Bauer edition?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you push that little
So
button.
you were
fancy.
Oh, I was fancy.
Okay.
Oh, you were rich.
It was crashed when I got it, but hey, you know, we put it back together.
He's salvage title. He's okay.
Yeah.
Did the back window roll down?
Oh yeah, you had a little button thing right there
Yeah.
underneath. The next had the cigarette lighter. You just bzzz, and it went like halfway down, and it was like, and then it would just drop.
Yeah.
But we were there, you know.
Yeah.
We were making it. And
Lots of room for subwoofers.
Oh yeah, I lifted that thing, and it has the split axle front end, which is Ford's biggest blunder. That's the biggest piece of shit. And I chased my camber in tow repeatedly for months until eventually I crashed that thing. Now what the hell do I have? I still have it. My 1975 Dodge Power Wagon. I have a Power Wagon.
Hell yeah.
It's on a 6-inch lift and 35s. It's sitting in my dad's property.
Hell yeah.
Once I'm out of the military, I'll probably finish her up. But right now, I just don't have time.
So did you learn just like, were you just given a wrench at 4 years old, or did you kind of come into it on your own? Or
So my dad wanted drinking buddies. He didn't want kids. So I'll just start there. My dad's a good guy.
Hell yeah, brother.
He's a good guy, just not shit for a role model. Love my dad.
Yeah.
And so I think
But I bet he's a really good drinking buddy.
I mean, great drinking buddy.
Yeah.
I mean, I learned how to shotgun beers in the bathtub when I was like 7.
Arguably a
Like,
more valuable skill.
exactly. I mean, who needs to learn
Scrape
to
your knee, and your dad comes over and he's like,
you say that. Okay.
I saw you got unsubscribed.
Yeah, how bad my dad was. We were moving sheet metal, and the forklift we had didn't have long enough forks for the sheet metal. So my dad's
Just
solution.
move it anyway.
Well, my dad's solution is, Ethan, climb up there and stand on the sheet metal to balance it. Each chunk of sheet metal is like 500 pounds. Yeah, so
sharp as a razor blade.
I stand on it and it shifts and it stabs me. I don't know if you can see it. I don't know if the scar's still there. It stabbed me like on the outside here. Actually, that's part of the scar right there, the little white part going through there.
You get a tattoo to cover all the trauma.
All the trauma, yeah. And so it stabs me, and I was so dehydrated it didn't even bleed. I could see fat tissue, and one bead of blood just went down my leg. Like, it was deep. And I was like, Dad, what do I do? And he was 3 sheets to the wind, and he's like, don't worry, I got some. I'll clean it out. I'll clean it out. We'll get it good. And I was like, cool, Dad, thanks. So you know what my dad did? Dipped his finger in water, dipped it in salt in the kitchen, and came over and went, "Yoop," which I now know in hindsight is abuse. But
Hindsight being 2020.
yeah, he went and rubbed salt on it. He's like, well, it's clean now. I'm like, you couldn't have poured some of your tequila or some shit on it? Like, come on, Dad.
Perfectly good tequila.
Yeah.
He orders himself a pizza and sends you to the hospital with the pizza driver.
Just take him over there. Get him over there.
I shit now.
Just wait until I tell the other boys about this.
They're gonna love what I've done.
So what happened with the sheet metal?
We ended up getting it loaded, but we had to counterbalance it with like a 55-gallon drum that we filled with water.
And then just put another child in the drum.
Yeah,
Hit the younger one.
we'll balance it out soon enough. Oh my god, we did so much sketchy shit. But no, so like my dad growing up as a kid, we had a huge garage. Like for me, home was where the garage was. So my dad, I mean, every once in a while there was some really cool things that he would do. Like he would order pizza to the garage instead of to the house. So my mom wouldn't know. So like if we were out there hanging out with him,
And that was back. I don't know how far you lived in relation to like the nearest Domino's, but it was where I was growing up. It was the only place that delivered.
yeah,
So,
we had two of them, Blackjack and Domino's.
yeah,
So the only two places
If you
that
got
were ever-
pizza delivered, it was like, oh damn, the Andersons are having a time tonight.
Right?
Oh, yeah. It was
Me standing on my porch as a little kid, not allowed in the house yet, watching the neighbors get pizza. Like,
Cute rich kid.
yeah, this is why I don't like rich kids.
Skiing.
We don't have to do this every
Yeah,
episode.
we don't have to do this every episode.
Yes, we do.
Jake grew up hard, but we went in on him pretty hard on an episode about being a rich kid from the Northeast, and it's just kind of become a thing now.
Oh, great.
was
He
up
built
skiing.
himself up from nothing.
When you hear that I grew up skiing, what do you imagine?
Cross country.
He's a rich kid.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Did you play lacrosse
I didn't
too?
grow up,
Bro, this is
like,
what I
hard.
said.
It wasn't like I didn't grow up like hard, but it was enough where it instilled into me good values, I think.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
I think every kid should understand a little bit of trauma. I think that's why me and my siblings get along, is we're trauma bonded as well. But I mean, if you were in the garage with my dad, you had two choices: follow his rules, or he was going to call you. Well, you may have to bleep this. He's going to call you a or fat or retarded. He called me Weeble Wobble at one point in time because I was a chunky kid.
Weeble
Yeah.
wobble.
Oh yeah.
Dang, that's harsh.
Yeah. Oh, my dad was a savage. And
I'm sorry to laugh.
No,
but
you're
that's
good. You're good.
You little
hilarious.
weeble wobble motherfucker. Like,
I'm gonna use that on JJ later today.
and he would send us in the house, like, get in the house with your mother, you like he was just, so you had to learn, I mean, he would just sit there the entire time.
Holding
and
the flashlight must have been terrible.
Oh, dude, to this day, I have PTSD about holding the flashlight. I'm telling you,
sneaking across the room.
he'd throw tools at us and would like yell at us. My dad, I remember, in that Jeep before I got it running, I had to change the slave cylinder inside it. He sat there the entire time yelling at me and telling me how stupid I was because I couldn't get the transmission like unmarried from the back of the motor on this 1989
That's a
Jeep.
significant job.
Dad, I'm
for
8.
anybody.
Yeah, like I was like 15 years old, and he's like, just bear hug it and then like move your shoulders until you like slide out. So he wanted me to hold the whole transmission, right? And he's just sitting there getting shit faced, yelling at me about how stupid I am.
As a good drinking buddy would. If I was at my buddy's garage, this is what I would be doing. I would be getting shit wrecked going, pick it up. Can't do shit.
The name of this episode is How Ethan Became Drinking Buddies with His Dad.
That should be the title of your like biography when you get
Just how I
drinking
became
buddies.
drinking buddies. I just drinking buddies.
Your dad
It's
sounds like every guy that I grew up around. Like
might-
all of them. Like angry, like drunk farmer kind of type guys.
That's-
like
Oh, is that how you ended up?
so we weren't the farmer
I need
types.
love and acceptance.
We weren't the farmer types, but we were like industrialized, I guess. So like my dad, he was a trucker and a volunteer firefighter.
So you fought in the
I
union.
totally get it now.
Yeah, it was
He had the pager on
all the time.
Yep.
all the time.
Yep.
And I mean, I've ever
Shirt
like,
tucked in.
Yep.
sometimes depending. You know,
Did he have the
120
CB radio on in the garage?
Yeah.
oh yeah, that stayed on in
Yeah,
the garage.
Responding to calls. Like,
Never turned off.
Yeah. Every time he'd go out with my mom, he'd have cowboy boots on and a duster. It was good times. Yeah.
Duster.
Oh,
He
my dad
unironically wore a duster.
unironically wore a duster.
Dude, I
my
kind of
dad
like him
still
now.
unironically wears dusters.
At first, I was kind of mad for him throwing wrenches at you, but now I think I kind of like
No,
him.
he grew up pretty
Oh,
good.
as long as it's in a duster. Get the-
Yeah, we're good.
He sounds like a pretty good drinking buddy now, to be honest. Can I be drinking buddies with your dad?
You want his number?
Probably
You
got a
go ahead.
duster and a flask in that,
Oh,
or a wrench and a
Several.
flask in that
Or
duster.
watches.
Just I don't know if he's got any of those, but my dad has fingers like his ring size is like 700, dude. My dad's fingers are like this big around.
They're just
He's
giant sausages.
He's just like his hands are so like dense.
Does he still make you feel like a little kid when you're around him?
Sometimes, like I mean, yes, I know, like I could probably kick his ass because he's ancient. Like he's almost 70. He's turning 70 this year.
beat the shit out of him.
I like. I mean, he's had his shoulder rebuilt twice. He's fell through roofs as a
he's
firefighter.
weak.
Like I've considered it. I've considered it. Like, all right, Dad, how about you hold the flashlight for me now? You
Yeah. You weeble wobble mother.
You're wrenching. You're like, hold it still.
Yeah,
I know old farmer guys like that though, that like you look at and you're letting that mouth go, and like I'm pretty sure I could kick your ass, and then like later that day they'll like grab you somehow and be like, no way. Like
they got that old man strength. Yeah,
like, old grip. Like
So that was kind of your education.
that was
coming
my
up.
education. Yeah, I feel like a lot of my success is based off of spite to my dad. I love my dad. Don't get me wrong, but like I can't be a bitch. Like that's just always in my head. Like quit being a. Like that's all that's in my head at all times. It's just all right. I'm gonna do this shit.
It's funny.
Honestly, it's amazing though, because like you are a prime example of like it either makes you or breaks you. Like you could have turned out to be just a bitch.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know what I mean? Like just like my dad.
Oh, so yeah. I'd be having my blue hair instead of no hair. But at some college campus
If
somewhere.
I had hair, it would be blue.
It would be blue.
There were two directions this was going.
Yeah, at some college campus somewhere, free whatever country that somebody decides to put on Twitter that week.
No,
You've
I
been
think
saying
those-
the bugs are definitely refugees.
Oh yeah.
all those weird liberal kids needed a wrench thrown at them. That's like that's
really
what they were missing.
Well,
Like,
it's like they either needed a wrench or they had too many wrenches. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
yeah,
True. I don't know if you guys ever do it, but every once in a while, like I'll see a video on Twitter or YouTube or something like that, and I'll just text my dad like, "Thanks for beating me. I appreciate that." Like, thanks.
Every like hardship that I had in the service, because like me and my dad didn't talk for like 20 plus years, and like I can remember road marches, climbing mountains in Afghanistan, like legitimate like physically demanding moments, thinking like I fucking hate my dad. And, like that was like the motivation to like keep going. Like I would just like put my head into the space of like remembering being 8 years old and be like, I can do this shit.
For me, it was just like
Works.
For
Totally
me,
works.
So I
I
will
love you,
say,
Pop. You were great.
for me, I will say that like one of the things my dad really instilled in us is like work hard, no matter what. Like whatever it is, just be great at it. And so like when the military came around, it was kind of second nature. It was just like don't quit. The military's easy. Like anyone who's like, oh, the military's hard. It's easy as long as you don't quit. Like as long as you try, even if you fail, like they're going to give you another
That's
chance.
it, right? Show up on
Just
time and do
don't
the
quit.
thing you said you were going to do.
Yeah, that's all
Be
it is.
consistent.
So it really came second nature to me. Like there are times that like during road marches and ruck marches, like I really wish my knee would blow out right now. Like I've wished ill will on myself.
I really hope my spine shatters.
Like, yes.
I watched a guy. We got
If
put
it was
on
a
this, like,
320, it would just happen for you.
disability.
we got put on this crazy like death march
Yeah, that'd only
infill
still be
to
like
to
20.
set up OPs and overwatch this town one time, and I watched a medic that had been assigned to us just jump the off a cliff.
Jesus
Like we were on like
Christ.
a go path, and like it was the worst mission of my entire life. Like hands down the most physically demanding thing I've ever done. And he just was like, nah,
Yeah,
and
I'm
just
done.
fell off. Yeah.
I've wished ill will on myself many times, but like I've just never quit. My body like never gave out enough. Like I've had pain. Don't get me wrong. I've had like sprains, and I rolled
enough.
but not enough that I had an excuse to quit. So I'm just like,
It's got to be
just-
enough for
I'm
someone
sorry,
else to
did-
come along and go, listen, you're a hard dude. That's gross.
Yeah, like, he
just-
you're all
it
right.
has to be
You're all
there.
right. Like, okay.
He mitsued up the side of a mountain in Afghanistan.
Yeah. We were doing, it was like it's not
It was like
getting into the whole
seppuku,
story,
with
but
rocks
yeah.
in a mountain.
Yeah, he was behind me in the movement, but the guys that watched him
was it
said that he like
intentional?
stopped. Yeah, he like stopped and like looked down the side of it and just like turned himself and like
He thought to himself one
He
too
was
many
like, I'm
times how
done.
much
Yeah.
he hated his
yeah.
dad.
It didn't kill him, but it was enough that like we had to medevac him out and like he didn't have to walk anymore. Like they will push you to a
not
point
even
where
if he
like,
wanted to.
Yeah, they'll push you to a point that you're like that. Literally falling off that sounds better than
I-
continuing going that way.
I've been there. Like because I had for part of my
I saw the
time,
torture scene in The Deer Hunter.
for part of my time in
I
Afghanistan.
basically lived it.
Yeah, so
I'm a very empathetic person.
For part of my time in Afghanistan, I carried this thing called the GPR, the ground penetrating radar, and it looked like a
hot.
f***ing weed whacker. So I was the point man, and my buddy Ronnie was usually with me. And Ronnie, God bless him, man, he made a really stupid promise. He told my mom he was going to get me back home alive, and I was like, "You should have never said that. Like, you don't ever say that.
Don't make
Yeah.
promises and don't write letters.
Yeah, like,
don't give me
don't
your
do-
"I love you" letter. Throw that shit in the trash. Like, got it.
Don't do it. There are some bad omens. But Ronnie, man, he walked outside of security all the time to like check corners for me and shit like that. Like Ronnie put himself in danger. He
made a promise.
like often to make sure I was okay. So shout out to Ronnie.
Was this your felonious brother?
No. Well, I mean, might as well be a
That would be
brother.
artist shit.
Yeah,
Well, think about this. If he got blown up, then he didn't have to keep the promise anymore.
yeah, exactly.
He's like, shit, I f***ed this one up.
I f***ed up bad. But there's a
He's
few
looking
times
to get blown up.
There's like one time I can really think of, and we've been running. Oh god, man! Like our company commander wanted us to have a minimum of 20 hours in sector a day. So every single day, one squad was in sector at least 20 hours throughout like walking outside the wire, like running patrols and stuff, at least 20 hours throughout the day. And I was so tired. I was exhausted.
What the Jews call leaving Manhattan. Sorry.
Outside of the
Wait
Jew
till the
wire.
after show.
Go ahead.
And so I remember like I was like mine detecting, and I was just so done with the world. I remember I got like a wee on the mine detector, and I remember I moved it, and
This is my ticket.
I jumped both feet right onto where it was.
my ticket.
And I stopped, and I was like, damn it. And Ronnie's like, don't you dare do that again. Ronnie was so mad at me. Yeah, that was one of the moments that I had.
Oh, that's wild.
You know what's crazy too is like that thing probably didn't pick up any IED.
No, I mean, we found some sometimes. Yeah, it was just, you had to understand the tones.
Chase, can I have a bush light, please?
When I first got it,
you.
I dug 5 feet for a penny nail. That's when I was like,
Yeah.
it is way too sensitive. I got to turn this thing down. So like low
You were looking
tones
for
are,
IEDs.
Yeah,
and
we were
they're
looking
just
for
giving you
IEDs.
penny nails. Yeah.
and low tones are copper, brass, gold, soft metals, things like that. High tones are the iron, stuff like that. So high tone, I didn't even really pay attention to. Low tone, it's like, all right, I might want to look at this one because this could be copper wire. Or,
We had the best success with the Goldies, where they picked up like ambient, like electrostatic in the atmosphere. They would pick up because everywhere we were, they were making stuff out of like wood, and they would run it off the carburetor or not carburetor, cars, the thing that gives you alternator wire.
Alternator,
They would
okay,
run
yeah.
alternator wire like a couple hundred yards to like a wood-based IED, and the only way you're picking it up is off of the Goldies. They would pick up the alternator wire.
you may have to cut this out, but our common IED pressure plate in Malaja, where I was at, was a chunk of 2x4. You then had 2 saw blades that ran through it,
Yep.
had styrofoam on
Yep.
each side with a chunk of tire and wrapped it in cellophane, and that's how it made it waterproof. So as soon as you touch, it completes the circuit with those saw blades, and kaboom.
Yeah.
Ingenious little ain't they?
Wow.
You can do it with alternator wire and like just a couple pieces of wood like that too. It works great.
Ingenious little
Saw
fuckers.
blades.
Yeah, that's how they did it for us. Yeah.
To run a circuit. Which is just enough to get over the 12 volts or
Yeah.
waiver to
Yeah.
light off the
And they'd
electronic
put a little
fuse.
C battery or whatever in
They
the
use
ground, and that thing
electronic
would sit there for
fuses
years.
mostly,
and
or
just wait.
what did they
They would
use?
just wait for you.
They're pretty smart for guys who have sex with goats.
Yeah,
That's true.
they're not dumb.
Yeah.
They're just
well,
gross.
some
all
of them
of
are. We kill the dumb ones pretty quick.
Can you prove that?
All the smart ones survive. The dumb ones, we kill those guys all the time. Like I have a blanket. I got to wash.
Well,
it.
they send him out to die.
Yeah, they do.
Don't worry, Muhammad. Go.
We had a guy blow his head off, which happens more often than you think. Like they go red, red, green instead of red, green, red. Like they mix some
Yeah.
wires or some shit, and they blow themselves up pretty regularly. It's more common than most people think. And I remember we found this guy, and he was missing his entire head because he was kneeling over it, and the charge was right underneath the pressure plate. Just took his head straight off, and he had 27 goats with him. 27 goats.
Why did he have so many goats?
Well, he
had a lot of girlfriends.
He was a Bigelow or a Deuce Bigelow. Gigolo. There you go.
He was a goat gigolo.
He was a goat
Oh,
gigolo.
he was a goat pimp.
Goat
Yeah.
pimp. Yes.
He was a goat pimp.
And so
He had
we
good stock.
Can we?
it was
Listen, the quality, the value
There's a
of
t-shirt.
your
Goat pimp.
goat
value of your livestock is all in the breeding.
That's right.
It really is.
I hear
That's
you.
gross. That's a gross joke.
The 72
gross.
virgins is just a bunch of
Just
goats.
a bunch of goats. We were laughing about this the other day too. Like, there's no like the whole like Middle Eastern like Arabic religions, like they get 72 virgins, but no one ever explains that it's women. Like how many of them like click off the SS and get there and they're like, "Damn it, son of! What are you doing here?"
Mahmoud lied to me. It's just-
All right, let's move on.
so he had 27 goats with him, and it was the middle of winter. We were living in an Afghan dude's house, and if you want to know what it was like living in it, you guys can all watch it.
They don't have a Third Amendment there.
No. We paid him handsomely. Like honestly, if you paid me as much as they paid him, as we paid him, like the
He's
transfer
getting
rate.
that doctor's salary to have like
it's
one
like okay,
soldier
you want
in
my
his
house? Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead. And then when we left, we had to pay him for any damages that we caused. Only damages was we burned up a chicken coop because we were freezing our balls off. Like it was. But we were living in an Afghan dude's house, and there's a video I made on YouTube years ago, and it's called Afghan Cribs.
Dude.
I walk you around where I was living at.
Shut up.
I'm serious. It's there. You can watch it. Afghan Cribs.
That's got to be one of the like early videos.
Oh yeah. This is way
One of the
before
first
HLC
ones.
existed.
Such a good
Yeah,
idea,
this is-
though.
Oh yeah. Well, this is the thing. The great part about it.
You were
is
just boys fucking around.
just around, and
Somebody had a DSLR. And
Welcome
like,
back to Quat.
Yeah. You're like, let's film Afghan Cribs.
As you pan through the room, there's a family duct taped to the corner of the room. The claymore right in front of them.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad I made that video because I didn't even realize it. I sent it to my platoon sergeant. This is years later. And I was like, our old platoon sergeant, we still have a group chat and shit. I sent it to him and he's like, Long, do you know what you just did? And I was like, I mean, we made a silly video. He's like, you just gave every member of this platoon undeniable video proof of burn pits. Because in the video, I'm like, this is where we burn trash. I'm like standing right next to it. So he's
They
like,
needed proof of that.
sometimes they might be like, oh, were you really near burn pits? And like, I'm standing next to the pit saying, this is where we burn trash. Yep.
I filled out the registry for that,
Yeah.
and they just denied me, which is
You didn't ever stand next to a giant black smoking pit.
yeah. I
with
don't.
shit
It's
in
like
it.
literally that.
That's
Like I don't have
literally
like a picture.
Everyone
of me,
I've
like,
talked to did that.
You love to be gaslit, babe.
yeah.
Did you stand next to burn pits?
We lived on a
Yes.
fob that I
don't
think
think
like
you
the
did.
first thing they did was dig the hole that would be the burn
Yeah,
pit, and then
like,
build
then
the
the
fob.
latrine.
Yeah. That's, the priorities, man. But
You
we,
got a piss, you do it over there. Take the burn pit
Not even
first.
joking. Like all of the buildings were black.
I shit now.
Just soot black.
It's like the title of this episode.
Oh yeah, I shit. I shit now with HLC.
It's just big head HLC. I shit now. Chase, write it down.
Write that down.
But we took his goats and I still have the blanket. We walked to the bazaar with his goats and we're like, hey, we want blankets. And the guy's like, okay. And we're like, can we have all those blankets? You can have all these goats. And he was like, yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes, I'll take a. So
That's
we
a
have,
good trade.
Yeah, I still have my
Yeah.
blanket. That
White
we,
men make good trade.
White man making trade. You know, and this time I got the blanket. There was no smallpox involved.
At least for now.
At least for now.
It's lying dormant.
Honestly, though, those Afghan blankets are amazing.
Oh, yeah.
I tried to bring one back, and the customs guys wouldn't let it like come home with me. But
We
they're
had like
amazing.
tough boxes specifically for
just
our
the smuggled blankets.
Yeah, just the smuggled
Those
blankets.
things are amazing.
Yeah, it smells like ass. Like I got to find a way to wash it because it's huge. It's like
Yeah.
a king. And
Don't ever wash it. Oh God, save that shit. Imagine being a grandkid and you like take them into the garage.
Here,
You're
no,
like,
check
"Listen,
this out."
Want to know what Afghanistan smells like? Like
take a whiff of this blanket.
it smells like goats.
Then I got to tell, their parents, sorry, I killed your child. Took one whiff of this blanket. It was
Did
just,
y'all ever like process any of the goats and
So we did one.
Yeah.
So the goats over there, they got a big badonkadonk on them. They're a certain breed that have like a chunk of fat that hangs over
Dude,
their
I
ass.
just saw a video about
Yeah,
these guys
they're,
today.
they're over there. And the Afghans that were with us, they
Selective
actually,
breeding.
yeah,
I was just waiting for it.
they call them Goaty Minaj.
Cody Minaj, dude?
Oh, fuck.
Stop it! We need a goat in the thumbnail now.
Just a big ass goat.
I shit now, Cody Minaj.
Like a Nicki Minaj ass under the goat.
Have you seen these goats?
Oh,
no,
my God.
keep going.
I genuinely don't think it's like an accident. Like I genuinely
Yeah,
think that's why.
Everybody
so
around
it's
here
not.
has like the Nigerian goats. They're like a certain breed that does really well in this area.
like eating grass because
They-
they
well,
like
they
they
eat
like their
everything.
goats to eat ass. So
Yeah, they
God damn.
eat whatever, man. So
So do you ever process goat and like?
So he did. This guy did, and he like they hung it up. They slit its throat. Which I mean, I don't agree with that. Like we all have guns, bro. Just put a bullet in it. Like I'm not one of those like
Yeah.
bleed them, whatever. And so they skinned it, and then I remember one of the Afghans, that big chunk of fat, he literally just lops off a chunk and eats it raw. And I was like, when in Rome, I had dysentery for 4 days, by the way.
Just to get ahead of the
I
story.
mean, you would want to. It's stun and stick. That's the actual like.
yeah, but it wouldn't be halal then if you shot
Okay,
it.
the Western process is stun and stick, where you stun them, which is either through a bullet or whatever other means, and then you stick them, as in that's when you bleed them after to get the blood out.
Yeah.
But that's for the quality of the meat, not because it's supposed to be some other religious thing.
Yeah, but to hang them and cut them is a halal thing. So like if you had shot the goat, none of the Afghans would have ate it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I actually didn't know that even.
I don't know. I know like for Jewish, what's it called?
Kosher.
Kosher, yeah.
Kosher. It's got to be like a priest that does it, and I don't think it's the same for Islamic stuff. I think it just has to be cut.
Yep, those are the goats.
Yep.
That's real?
Yeah.
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 I'll send it to you, Chase.
Yeah.
Look at the size of the fucking balls on that thing. Oh my
They would
God.
shit out of that.
Oh,
thing.
yeah,
That's
they
big
go
ass balls.
fucking ham.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That thing, and then each other, and then
If you ask your average Afghan,
we're gonna have to cut so much.
Yeah.
I feel like I just need to. Like,
I'm sorry.
yeah,
Chase.
women are for babies, men are for pleasure, and farm animals are for pleasure.
Oh God.
It's a pretty common.
It blows my mind. They were Zach like tells that story of, like watch them like f- that donkey, and it's like this crazy ludicrous story, and everybody's like so funny. It was like literally like an everyday thing.
Yeah.
You could just get on a raid camera and be like, "Yep,
That dude's banging a goat or a donkey or yep.
I mean, we don't have to go too deep into this topic, but
can
I
get
just
gross with
just
this.
remember being about 19 or whatever, and like that was like I'm almost 40, so like that's when all the guys who were going over there to start that fight, like we're going over there, and I remember some of them coming back going, yeah, you know they goats.
Yeah.
And
no
you're
way.
like, no way.
Yeah.
That's
one
not a
owns it.
thing.
Totally a thing.
Yeah.
I tell you, like, there's one thing that I saw, well, two things that were grosser to me than that. And that's saying something. One time I was watching through, we had this thing called the LRTV, long range thermal viewer. And you'd like, it was always long go on the mountain, long go, you know.
It's just that's all that's turned into.
Yeah.
I'd stop. You quit watching The Village and just turn to your partner force. Like, what are you guys up to?
And so it was always like long climb the tree, long get on the roof. Like I fell through so many Afghan roofs. They're not built for 200 plus pound American full kit. They're not. They're not. They're definitely not. And so I'd be up there like watching. And I remember I was watching this woman in a burqa, and she was walking, whatever, cool. It's Zorshar, middle of the night. And I'm just watching, kind of seeing what's going on around Zorshar, looking around. And she like middle of the street, just like squats down, stands back up and walks away, and there's a thermal pile in the middle of the street right behind her. No wipe, no nothing. I was just like, like that grossed me out. I was like, there's not even like an attempt to try and be cleanliness.
You know how they'll run their toilets? Like they'll have like a shitter like on like the second floor of the clot, and it'll just run out like a hole.
Yes.
It'll just be like a slit trench on the back. We got hit one time, and that was the only spot. And I didn't think anything about it, dude. We got smashed, and I went like it was all the cover I had. I went running along face first down into like I just thought it was like a muddy like pit thing. And it was after the fight, like hours later. We were sitting on the farm, smoking a cigarette, and someone was like, "What is that smell, dude?" And I realized it was me. Just
I've stepped knee deep into one of those, and there's instant rage. Like you don't know rage until you're noise and light discipline. Which, by the way, if you've never worn NVGs before, at least the single eye ones that we had, you have zero depth perception.
Yep.
Zero. So, and they don't autofocus. So, like, you either focus on keeping yourself alive, like looking around, or you look at your feet.
Right.
And so, like, I was looking around, and I remember stepping, and I just like, and knee deep, and then the smell hit me, and I was like, I'm gonna kill the first motherfucker I see. Like I was just instant
Just whoever
rage.
it is dying.
I'm gonna kill someone. Instant rage.
It was a big
man.
booty goat.
yeah.
And then the other thing is big booty goat.
This is so
It was such an off the wall episode. You're welcome, by the way, guys.
Thanks for coming on the show.
Wow, what a
Cappy yesterday was like very like high level geopolitical, very like intelligent, and like we have just scraped the bottom.
I love this.
I brought you down to my level of being with experience.
This is what we call diversity of content.
The other thing, so I don't know if you experienced this, but the Afghans we were around, they thought we had pills to fix everything.
Yeah.
Like, you know, they'll,
Yeah, of course.
they'll have an injury and be like, "Can I have a pill to fix it?"
Right.
And so this guy walks up to us and like he's limping, whatever, cool.
You start giving them Adderall.
This'll fix it. You'll feel great.
Microdose this low grade meth.
Give them some acid taps.
Yeah. This guy walks up and he's like, I've been shot in the leg. Can I have pills to fix it? We're like, okay, who shot you? He didn't want to tell us. We're like, okay, so we got to talk to this guy. We got to look at the wound because either we shot him and we need to know what the fuck were you doing when you were shot by Americans, or it's a 7.62 and like, cool, where's the Taliban? We're going to go f them up.
Yeah.
Like, so we have him walk with us where he's not detained or anything. We're just like, yeah, we got pills back at our cop. We lied. And so we get back to our cop.
You probably had pain medication.
Yeah, I mean,
You definitely had pills there.
there's pills,
actually,
yeah.
they probably didn't just distribute that to y'all.
So our medics would get, we didn't get it. Our medics would keep holding it. It was
would've been
serial
a
number.
bad-
Yeah,
I wouldn't
even-
have given
even-
him a bottle of
Yeah,
pain
no.
medicine and
Not just
Even-
Staff Sergeant
Yeah,
Tackett.
even the medics were like that was like heavily controlled. We had a one of the medic platoon sergeants was like getting into the morphine and stuff.
Oh,
into
shit.
His career.
Yeah, like our medics, they would get issued it and it was sealed and it was serial numbered. They had to like verify it. Unless somebody got injured or killed, like they were not allowed to break that thing open.
But those morphine lollipops,
Oh man,
I tell you,
boy, what are we talking about? I got fentanyl after I got out of it. I totally medicinal. Like it was like
It's medicinal, Fetty.
yeah, it was from a doctor.
that's why I microwaved it and snorted
made in
it.
China.
Yeah, I totally understand why people abuse that shit. As soon as I got pumped full of it, I was like, this makes sense. Yeah, it totally makes sense.
Golly.
But so the guy walks back with us and we're like, okay, he's limping. So he's been shot. Cool. You know, we didn't see any blood. Like his leg wasn't bloody. He had like a bandage on it. We're like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
So we get him back and I'm there with my medic and I'm pulling security. I got like my little M9, little Beretta. And I'm like, this dude, I mean, he's limping. He's been shot. He's not going anywhere quick.
Now we're still rocking
You know, like-
Berettas.
yeah, like we checked him. Like he doesn't have any weapons or any explosives. Cool, whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm just pulling security in case he gets uppity with Doc. And like realistically, I'm not going to draw my 9mm. I'm just going to rearrange his face like assertively.
Yeah.
And so,
That's what the nods mount on your helmet is
oh
for.
great, that Rhino, bro.
Dude, the Rhino mount.
Oh, you can put some
Get
down.
uppity.
Rhino. And so my medic is, he iron stomach. And normally, like, shit doesn't bother me, piss doesn't bother me, blood doesn't bother me. This could gag a maggot. Starts unwrapping it, and then the smell hits me. It's gangrene.
Oh.
I never smelled gangrene before. So, like, the bandage was grown into his leg.
Isn't that contagious?
It's technically sepsis. It's an infection in general.
Okay.
And so, like, unwraps it, and the guy's like, I'd like some pills to fix this. And we're like, dude, you're going to lose your leg. Like, you need to go to a hospital. There's nothing we can do
right now.
Yeah, like, if this is going to kill you, or you are going to lose your leg. Like, there's no choice you have here. You need to go to a hospital. We can't provide this. And my medic was like, he's not going to like this, Long, be ready to grab him. And my medic, like, this is how far dead the tissue was, to put it in perspective. My medic grabbed a gauze pad about the size of his hand, sprayed rubbing alcohol on it, and put it on his leg. Dude didn't even flinch. Like, that's how dead the nerves were.
I thought you were going to say he
fucking
just like grabbed a chunk of.
Oh, no.
Honestly, I'm kind of surprised that guy wasn't full on septic.
I mean, he was like,
Probably was.
honestly, from his face, it was nighttime. He looked like relatively healthy, other than a limp. So
What do you mean
whatever.
full on septic?
So like once you get an infection like that, even like simple things, you could get like an impacted tooth that gets infected. Like full septic means that like you get a blood infection.
Yeah.
And like so you can literally go into shock and just die from
Yeah.
being septic. And it happens with old people all the time. They'll bump themselves or get some little cut, and they're not taking
won't
care of
think
themselves
about
well.
it,
They
yeah.
won't think about it, and then their immune system's already run down because they're old and like
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
But you'll show up, and they're literally like all their vitals are crashed, like they're bleeding to death, and they're just septic.
Yeah, I was the entire time I was just trying to hold back the chunks. Like, my body was trying to get them out, and I was like just watching this. My medic's like right there in it. Like, I'm gonna dress this. I'll put a new bandage on it. We'll clean this. Like, he was just doing the best he could.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it. No. I was
Medics
like,
are special people.
yeah, medics are interesting characters. Oh, but yeah.
So what happened to him?
We sent him on his merry way. Like, we're like, you need to go to a hospital. Like, we can't transport him to a hospital unless, of course, it's like damage we did, or that like we know the Taliban did.
Yeah.
This is an old wound. This isn't something even, I don't even think a field hospital in the Army is going to be able to deal with, because he needs like intravenous antibiotics. They need to amputate the leg.
Yeah.
And
He
it could be
needs
down
a
here. It could be
proper
all the way
medical
up here.
facility.
Like, I don't know. Yeah. Like, he needs proper medical care.
Yeah.
But yeah, we patched him up best we could. And we're like, dude, go to the
luck.
hospital.
Yeah. Good luck, Tony.
Man, that's
That's a brutal part of that job, is like,
Yeah.
because you'll run into stuff like that with kids. And it's like, I can't, I know that like when my medic is going to do the best that he can here on this mission.
Yeah.
But I know in a week you're dead because of this infection or whatever this is. And like, there's nothing. I can
you have to try to
nothing
communicate
I
to the
can do.
parent the necessity of it, and they don't understand.
it's also
even if we're able to dish you some antibiotics or something and like
That's
hope
not
for the
gonna
best,
stop it, yeah.
well, more than likely because of the culture, someone is going to come along and just take that stuff from them anyways. So you just interact with these people that are walking dead, and there's just nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, it was really strange to me, and I don't know if you ever experienced this. We had to tell a gentleman, it was a really, I'm not going to tell this whole story because it's a really rough story, but we had to inform this gentleman that his son had passed away. It wasn't us. Taliban planted an IED, kid found it, and found it the way you think. So he didn't make it, so we had to let him know. And it was so strange to me that like they're so used to death, it didn't affect him. He was like, okay, thank you. Like, and just moved on with his life. Like no, nothing. Like there was, you tell a parent they've lost a child in the United States, and it caves their world in.
Yeah.
But over there, they're so used to just losing so much. It was the strangest thing that I'd ever seen.
I bet extremely similar
Yeah.
story. We were responsible for it, but like we like informed the family that he was from. Like somehow the interpreter figured out like what family he was from, and they didn't give a shit at all. It was like surreal.
It's a strange place in the world to be. Like, it's just, they just don't care. They're like, oh, I got like 9 more kids.
Well, let's flip this a little bit.
Okay.
What do we? So what are like what's the best story? Not in terms of entertainment value, but like in terms of like uplifting. Like, is there anything good? Like, what is
Anything good, please.
What is there? Is there any uplifting things that happened while you were there that like you took home with you, and you're like that I still have that with me today?
I will tell you, the best Christmas I ever had was in Afghanistan at the Strong Point. We didn't have shit. Like, I think that is a really like telling thing. I think that the whole spirit of Christmas has kind of gotten away from people in the world, that it's not about like material items, because we had nothing. But like by the time Christmas had happened, we had already lost one of our squad leaders and my platoon leader. So like it was just this weird like camaraderie feeling. Like me and all the guys, like, yes, we had people pulling guard, but like we had a campfire set out there. We were just sharing stories, smoking and joking and just enjoying company with each other. We had this chaplain assistant, he loved us. The chaplain loved my platoon. Like they would always come out to the strong point. We're kilometers away from anybody else, and they would like take us to the strong point, and they wanted to come and hang out with us. And the chaplain assistant, we called him Task Force Catfish. Yeah, he had like this weird like mustache with like 4 hairs. It was great. We called him Task Force Catfish. He'd be out there playing guitar and shit like that with us. It was so cool, man. And it was one of the most wholesome like experiences that I'd ever had in my life. And like you come back here to the United States and you experience, the Christmas is here, and it's all about like, well, I got to buy this for this person, I got to buy this for this person. And like none of us had any gifts for each other, but like the best gift we ever received was just being alive with the people there. Like it was just the most, words can't describe the feeling. I don't know if you've ever experienced anything along those same lines.
Yeah, it's one of the things that like really bother. I don't really like holidays now because like I feel like it's exactly what you're saying. Like Christmas pisses me off every year now.
Yeah,
it's this giant corporate gross thing, and like the best Christmas of my life was in Afghanistan the first time.
Yeah,
like we were just so happy to be there with each other that day.
Yeah,
and we had hot food that day. It wasn't an MRE.
Yeah,
we were like so happy about the simplest thing.
The smallest stuff is just the biggest.
It's like
thing
a
in the
gift
world.
I wish I could give to my kid and to other people in the world. Is like literally lose everything, and you'll be so happy to eat a Pop-Tart.
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
Sorry, I know that's like an emotional thing, but that was
it's fantastic.
It's awesome because like
sharing
it's one of those things like you're saying, like sharing that with your kid. It's true. That's why Thanksgiving has kind of always been my favorite holiday.
Yeah,
it's because it's not about like I got you this thing. It's been about like, hey, all of the families coming together and we're eating and we're enjoying each other's presence.
Just the gift is each other.
Yeah, the gift is that we're here.
There's nothing like there's no feeling in the world that I've ever found that compares to that. It's just such a it's an amazing, like you reflect on like the awful shit that has happened. You reflect on that, but like that is one of the things that Christmas is always in my head. Yeah, always. That is just like the tippy top of any experience I've ever had over there.
Yeah. So you've been in since then.
Yep.
You're getting out soon. Can you talk about that?
Hopefully July. Fingers crossed.
Okay.
So I put in all my my paperwork. So turns out if you've been doing this as long as I have, and I've been rode hard and put to bed wet. You get what I'm saying?
I feel you, brother.
Yeah. I got all off-road miles, right? Like I had no highway in this thing, and
it's all start stops.
Flipped up hood.
Yeah.
Oh God, he's bad shit now.
Yeah, I should know. That's exactly what happened in there. And so like for me, I knew. After talking with Nick and Tyler Gray and Eli and Brandon, all those guys and stuff, this was before I had met you or you guys. And I was like, I'm going to I remember after talking to them, they were like, you're kind of like stumping your potential with the military. And don't get me wrong, I love the military. I love everything it's given me. It's given me a lot of like it's a give and take. It's the best bad decision I ever made. Right?
You're just to give an outside perspective. He's one of the guys who's you see both sides of it, but you're always willing to like take the perspective and offer just a useful analysis of it.
Absolutely.
And I think that's super valuable.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's been a great experience and I love it. But I also realize like my worth to the Army is 14 Echo 40 platoon sergeant or first sergeant, whatever.
Yeah.
My worth to what I can give people out there through my comedy, my insight, just the things that I provide, is just so much more in my eyes. And so like, that's where I boiled it down to. And then I'll never forget, I called my wife and I was upstairs in the unsub house and I called her and I was like, this is what's going on. I explained to her where my head was at. And I was like, do you think I can do this? Be a full-time content creator.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget, she said, I love you. I trust you. And if this is something you want to do, I absolutely believe in you.
It's a good one.
I was about to say that's a good woman.
Yeah. That is, that woman she's the best part of me. And so after that, I was like, well, I'm going to go tell the doctor the truth for the first time in my military. You just always suck it up.
It's the quickest way out the door.
Yeah, it really is.
We were laughing about this the other day. It's the quickest way out of the door is say the truth. And you're like,
oh,
no more for you.
It's the weirdest.
Something wrong with that one.
So I went to the doctor and I was like, this is what's going on. This is how I feel. And they were like, all right, well, let's go look at this. Let's go look at this. Let's go look at this. They did a hip surgery. Turns out both my hips are bad. Both my knees are bad. My back.
I'm shocked.
Yeah, like I'm just falling apart. Yeah, falling apart. So then they're like, yeah, you're going to, they tried to fix the hip and it's just not agreeing with anybody. So they're like, all right, you're pretty much getting your walking papers. And I started going through the med board process. And now like it's a weird, I will say, it's been the most interesting shift in thought process I've ever had in my entire adult life. Because the military has been there the entire time, told you, when to wake up, when to go to sleep, where to go, what to do. Like you've always had someone telling you. And now for the first time in my life, I'm having an opportunity to do what I want to do. And of course it's scary. The big thing that sticks out to me is like, I always wonder, if something that is inside my brain that maybe I didn't share with the next generation could save their life. Like there's always going to be that. And I think every vet who gets out probably has that same feeling. Like, what if I'm not there to help?
Just put it in a Google Doc.
Yeah, War Thunder forums, here I come.
That was a highbrow joke.
Yeah, there we go. So now that I'm starting to walk away, like I'm as excited as I am, I am incredibly terrified. I'm so terrified of what the future holds, but I'm also a firm believer in like hard work creates what you want in life. And I always treat it like, as much as I really enjoy just making people laugh, I also understand that this is how I will be making money in the future. And this is how my life is going to be, afforded. And this is how I'm going to be able to continue to do this. So I do have to look at it as much as I enjoy doing it, as also as a business. And I don't want to turn my back on anyone who's been there for me from the beginning.
Yeah.
But also, like, I used to look at I have a wall of accolades in my house that I hung up when I first got there. It's got like my Meritorious Service Medal, my RCOMs, it's got my AAMs, like all these different certifications, Combatives Level 1, like I hung it all up. And I remember one day, it was like when the med board was getting started, I was walking up, it's right on my staircase on the landing, and I looked at everything. And instead of looking at all of it with pride, I was hit with disgust.
Yep.
Like, that I beat myself into the ground for so many years for a plaque that cost $100, like, or just something that costs some general a signature. Like, the military is really good about like making you feel like you accomplished something, but they haven't quite figured out how to transition that into, you can accomplish this much more out there.
Well, they're not going to.
Yeah.
That's part of the Kool-Aid. The entire, like, how many sergeant majors have you run into that use the phrase, like, if you leave here, you'll work at McDonald's?
Exactly.
That was like the phrase. Like, you can't leave here. The only job you can get is McDonald's. And it's like this weird, like, shit, you're right. Like, I'm not worth shit.
Yeah.
The reason I'm here is because I'm not worth shit.
Why wouldn't you want men to take that
You don't want them to leave.
understanding
We
and that
call
hard
that-
work and that hardship and that experience and then use it to improve the nation? Isn't that kind of the idea?
We call that an abusive relationship.
Yeah,
Gaslighting
it's
in
a
the top.
classic gaslighting abusive relationship, and you're cannon fodder at the end of the
No
day.
one will ever love you if you leave me.
Yeah, 1,000%.
really,
If you
really
leave
is.
here, you will never succeed outside the military.
And I tried to, I can't change the whole Army, but since I've been in leadership positions, really from staff sergeant on, I wanted the buck to stop with me.
Yeah.
And I told all of my soldiers, you want to stay in? I will help you stay in. I will do everything in my power to help you. If you want to get out, I will help you. Like, and not like you're
No, I was like the worst retention guy ever. I would look at my dudes and be like, you're going to do 3 and get the out of here. Run, boy.
And I was like, if you want to get out, I will help you in any way that I possibly can, because something I've learned, and anyone who's in the military who wants to learn this, if you're successful and you work hard in the military, you can be successful and work hard outside the military. Like, that is, just lose that thought out of your mind that you aren't worth shit. So like, a lot of my soldiers have gotten out and they're like, hey, are you willing to write me a reference letter? Absolutely. You worked your ass off for me. Why would I not want you to be successful in your next job?
Awesome.
So I've written probably 5 or 6 letters of reference for some of my soldiers that have gotten out, and they've gotten great jobs, and I'm incredibly proud of them.
That's
You're living proof of how you can take that and transition it into something else. And I think that I think that's one of the things that Eli's doing too all the time is, with his new show too, is trying to prove that. And I mean, I think there's so much evidence there of people that are able to do that. That's the coolest thing that you guys, I think, bring out from all of that.
This whole group, like, I mean, from you guys to the unsub crew to like everybody, like, you all want each other to succeed, but you don't do anything for anybody else. Like, not in a negative way, but like, you're like, I'm going to, teach you how to fish type deal. And you give them the tools. And apparently, and I didn't know this, it's very rare for people to actually take that and run with it. And I guess the only reason like Nick and Eli and all those guys like really enjoy being around me is because when they tell me something, I immediately implement it. Like, all right, I'm going to try this. I'm going to try this. Like, they're constantly trying to help hone my craft, but not by doing it for me, by telling me what
teach
I should
sovereignty.
be doing. Yeah,
Teach sovereignty, not dependence.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the things that like I will constantly reference. Like, I've got a bunch of friends back home in California. But like, it's one of the coolest things to be like, yeah, the people that I'm out here with, like my new group of friends, they all want everybody to succeed. It's not like, all right, what can I get from you, kid?
Exactly.
You look young and supple. What can I steal from you?
Yeah.
But it's like, hey, we can all succeed together.
Yeah, and there's so much there. Like, there's no, that's one of the greatest things about the digital media space now is before their traditional media it developed this idea that you had to be competitive with the people around you because there were only so many outlets.
Yeah.
Now the problem is not the distribution. Like,
well, it also probably fell under like back in old school media. It was like literally if you're viewing this, you're not viewing this.
that's and that's just simply not true.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just so much there, and there's
Social media is far more powerful than everyone realizes.
Yeah.
Like it's the most powerful tool that I think I've ever seen for propaganda, for like
Good and bad.
Yeah, like I mean, it is. I mean, how do you think we're 24 years after 9/11 and we have thousands of college students praising terrorism in the United States? Social media.
what a country.
Like I'm just telling you, like what I call a spade a spade.
That's why I do what I do now, though. Is like I med boarded in 17, and it felt like I had lost everything. You know, like my entire personality, who I was, like just I felt like I like fell out of like the human box. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like this group down here and understanding the power of what we do now, like it's the first time since 2017 that like I feel like I'm where I'm supposed to be. Like I felt very alone for a long time. Like no one understood me. No one understood like the concept that I wanted to push. And like being down here, like around people that like, they're just going to show you the way. And then knowing you on the team with them, it's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
And the power to reach out into the world and like motivate men. Like this whole point of this show is to like motivate masculinity in the future, keep it alive.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's a perfect place to end the main episode. Ethan, thank you so much just for sharing your perspective and your stories.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, we can do business handshakes.
Business handshakes.
Yeah.
Of course.
No, for real. And where can people find you? Where do they go?
You can go to habituallinecrosser.com, and that has all of my
All the
channels
links.
and all of my links and everything from YouTube to Pepperbox.
Did Nick tell you to do that?
Yes.
FatElectrician.com. Best way to support the channel is go to FatElectrician.com.
Yeah. Today we're talking about, I can get his cadence right. I can't get his vocals right, but he has a,
and you also have an exclusive show on Pepperbox.
I have 3
Hell
exclusive
yeah,
shows
dog.
on Pepperbox.
Yeah.
There's HLC State of Mind, which is all of my same characters, Grandpa Buff, all of them,
Yeah.
but talking about history, or reliving things that happened throughout history.
Yeah.
Then there's Kind of Consensual, which is another podcast with me, Rich, Angry Cops, with the Fat Electrician, Nick, and then Eli Double Tap. And then we have a new one. We have 1 episode out. We just finished recording the next 2 episodes, so we're really, really excited. It's called
so excited for this furniture.
Oh, I'm telling you, habitually fat. It's gonna crush. I love it. I love it. It's honestly like I think that it's the pinnacle of my social media career, frankly, because
Talking about furniture?
well, we've managed to monetize going to museums with your homies. Like
These two,
It's such a beautiful
Monetize
thing.
everything.
Yeah.
And then figure out you can just like do the stuff that you wanted to do, and it's a tax write-off somehow.
yeah, yes, that's the best thing.
If y'all want to check that out, it's available on pepperbox.tv. There's a link in the description below for a 14-day free trial. Go on and check it out. And if you want to see the Man versus After show, which we're going to roll into right after this, it will be there as well. So we'll see you on the next one. And wow, thank you for joining us.